Let's get ready to story!
All right, here's some words from this person's bio. Pre-race pep talk. Friars. Church basements. Corrine Sebastianelli. Finally!
It's about time because I basically forgot everything that I was going to say. Ciao. Hello. Benvenuti a tutti. Welcome to all. My story is about growing up in an Italian family. I guess I was around 12 years old when I realized that I was an American. I knew I lived in Jessup. I knew I was born at the Mid-Valley Hospital. I knew I was a U.S. citizen, but it still didn't give me enough oomph to believe that I was American.
Hold it up. There.
That I was an American. Why? Because the Americans were the Irish, the Polish, the Slovaks, the Jews. And in our house, they were called Americani. So if they were Americani, I was an Italian. The Americani ate peanut butter and jelly that came out of sliced bread in a plastic bag. I grew up smelling the sizzling sauce on the stoves, the smell of garlic on Sunday mornings, making sure you went to Mass and didn't dip that bread in the sauce because you had to fast an hour before you received that first Holy Communion. Needless to say, I was an only child for 6 years, which my grandmother, my Noni, lived with us our entire life. My mom, she worked at the infamous Barbizon of Jessup. My dad, hard worker, had 2 jobs. Worked at the train company in the day, then he had his trucking company, but at night, until the day he died, he had a second job. A second job that he never missed one night. He was on call constantly. Whether it was the VFW, Pee-Pee, Ziggy's, no matter where it was, he was there with that bottle of grape juice in front of him all the time. So needless to say, when my parents worked, I was raised by Nonna. Nonna had a language of her own. As long as you put an O at the end of it, it was Italian. Pocketbuco. No, Nonni, it's pocketbook. Sedlo. No, Nonni, it's cellar. Ice creama. No, Nonni, it's ice cream. But what I remember the most is that she could never pronounce my name. Corrine. Chlorine! No, Nonni. Chlorine is in the pool. No, chlorine. Chlorine. Dame a cock summit. Cock summit? Clark summit, Nonni, not cock summit. I grew up loving my Italian heritage. And when I got older, I was able to cross the streets from being a river rat to go and explore the downtown Jessup. What do I encounter first? Domas. People complain about standing in line, don't you, at Quinn's? Nobody complained about standing in line at Doma's because everybody ate the olives from the barrels that were going down the side. And you tell me one person in this audience that didn't steal an olive from Doma's barrel. But guess what? There was a price to pay, baby, because when you left Doma's, you smelled like bacala for about 3 weeks. I'm going further up the street. Loftus's drugstore. You had little Stella and little Lola, as quiet as can be. Pencils, over there. Cards, over there. Okay. Then you go next door to Minicosi's. What do you want? Pauline, at this point I need a friggin' value! chief. Every time I was sent to the big chief, I knew it was nothing good. It was bad, because I got a note. There was no bread and milk that I was going to go get at that big chief. It was Kotex or cigarettes. You waited in line with no olives to eat as they wrapped the Kotex in newspaper after newspaper after newspaper, because my God, you were buying Kotex. What a shame. Another Italian town, living in an Italian town, you had Strasmans, you had Thiers, you had Weisses. I guess as long as he added a vowel, we were okay. But my memory, most of all, was of Fanny Weiss. Nobody ever needed a boob job if you bought your bra in Fanny Weiss. Because you bought those cross your heart Playtex with the points that gave you torpedo tits as you walked down the street. Your boobs came around the corner before your face. Needless to say, I could go on and on. I spent my kindergarten in a basement with Sister Falsta at St. Mary's. And I spent my 4 years of high school in a basement too. Because when I was a freshman, it was the first year of the consolidation. And the roof caved in at Blakely High School. When I was a sophomore, Jessup High School burnt down. When I was a junior, Blakely High School burnt down. Now I'm in Archibald. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Where's that voice coming from? Oh my God, there's an intercom. What the Christ is an intercom? Mr. Davis over the intercom. I could go on and on for hours. And I am just so grateful to be born into the Italian heritage, and for my family to have come to Jessup to make their life. I was fortunate enough to live downtown Jessup, uptown Jessup. We didn't even have a traffic light, but there was a difference between uptown and downtown. The tracks. Once you cross the tracks. The difference now is us and them. My grandparents, who were born Italian. My parents, who were born Italian-American. Myself, who was born American-Italian. And my son, who was born American-American. And I am proud to be an American, but down deep, I have those roots of the culture and the heritage of Italy. So God bless America. Viva Italia, and I hope you enjoy your night.